Aloha, welcome to Wisdom Flow Podcast. I'm Jennifer Lynn. I'll be your host. Today we're talking about the 8 limbs of yoga. Ashtanga means 8 limbs. Ashta 8, anga limb. And they're called limbs rather than steps because they allow a variety of inroads to the path. You might be called to the path of yoga because you love the asanas and the physical fitness and physical challenge of the asanas. You might be called to the path because you have a desire to go inward and you want to open doors through meditation. Maybe you're interested in breathing practices and you want your lungs to be strong. Maybe you're a free diver. So there are lots of inroads to this path, and that's why the 8 limbs are called limbs and not steps. However, there is a brilliant sequence to these limbs that bring us from the outer world to the inner world. So let's go through the limbs. The first is called yama, and they are 5 ethical precepts that help us manage the way that we relate to other people and the outer world, keeping those relationships as drama-free as we can, so they are not distracting us. They are smooth and they are supporting us. The next limb is called niyama, and it is about how we relate to our personal environment, keeping it orderly and feeling a sense of satisfaction and ease in our personal bubble, developing our own desire to grow and change, niyamas, things like that. So our personal environment, how we manage that. And then the third limb is called asana. You're probably familiar with that. And those are the postures that we move the body through. So they're very much about keeping the body in vibrant health, strength, wakefulness, fluidity, and grace as we move through the human experience. The fourth limb is pranayama. Pranayama is the liberation of life force energy through breathing practices. So pranayama helps us get the full capacity of our breath going, helps us find a rhythm in our breathing that can evoke a steadiness of our deep internal rhythms. Now the 5th limb is where we really turn deeply inside. It's called pratyahara, and it means withdrawing our awareness from the 5 sensory input and wondering, who am I beyond my 5 senses? It is a quieting of the pull into the world of duality and a call to the equanimity inside. So pratyahara is like opening the door a crack towards meditation. The 6th limb is called dharana, and it is, you might say, a field of concentration. I like to think of it as an emotional fertile ground that sets us up for an organic, easeful meditation experience. If you've ever tried to meditate when you're pissed off, you know that that is really difficult. The energy is agitated in those negative emotional states. So if we sit to meditate and we're not feeling at ease, then our first job is to go into dharana and self-soothe. Forget any focused concentration if you're not already settled and peaceful inside. Just sit, breathe rhythmically, focus on something like the birds outside or the hum of your refrigerator so that you can settle in to that calm and open spaciousness, that fertile emotional field where you actually are ripe to concentrate. That's what dharana is. And then once we are there, or if we are there when we sit down, then that next level of meditation called dhyana, which is more of a single-pointed focus. And this is where we might use the third eye focus, our inner visionary qualities, to have a clear intention or focus for our meditation. So the emotional field is set in that 6th limb, dharana, so we feel like I'm in the flow. And then dhyana is like, I know what I want to focus on, right? Maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's a request, maybe it's a vision for your bright future. Yeah. And then samadhi, the 8th limb, it's not something that we can make happen. It is the state of absorption. You think about a wave when it comes out of the ocean and peaks, and it's like, I am my own wave. even if it's lucky, it has a wave rider who's having fun on it as it comes back down. But when that wave dissolves back into the ocean, it's not gone per se, it has just absorbed itself into its source. And that's sort of what samadhi is. If you've ever been as an artist in the zone where you lose track of time and you forget to eat because you're so into the art project that you're creating, and even the separation between the art project and the artist, those lines get blurred and you're in that zone, that's samadhi. And it can happen, it happens to us several times every day when we just sort of slip into that very natural absorption with the life force energy within us. So those are the 8 limbs of yoga in a nutshell. We'll dive deeper into the 5 yamas and the 5 niyamas in future podcasts. So I hope you'll join us. Thanks for tuning in. Aloha.